So when you look at, I mean, you've spent almost your entire life in the USCL system.
Yeah.
When you look back, what are the main causes? I know you've mentioned some of them, but what are the major causes that has brought almost about 1.something million people in Uganda?
Communal violence, civil war, I mean, account for the majority of those who are here. We have over 900,000 South Sudanese here, mainly because of communal violence in South Sudan. We have nearly 500, about 500, in fact, over 500,000 refugees from the DRC due to mainly, civil war in Eastern DRC. I mean, so these are the drivers, the main drivers of refugees that we have here in Uganda. Sudan is another example. So far, we have more than 30,000 Sudanese who have come to Uganda as well. The public disorder, disturbance of public disorder, civil wars account for the vast majority of persons who have come to Uganda to seek refuge. There are others with different reasons, according to the definition I gave you earlier on.
So I guess what is baffling me, UNHCR has been in existence since 50s, and these issues continue to perpetuate. Is there any? Let's take the case of the DRC, Sudan, and all of that. Is there anything UNHCR is doing for us to address this main causal effect?
Yeah, it is not only UNHCR. Yes. This has been the Secretary General's main job to ensure peace.
Yes.
Once there is peace, like I told you, the majority of the refugees here have come because of disturbances,
sure.
War, disturbances. I mean, if that is addressed, I mean, the vast majority of persons who are fleeing their countries to seek asylum would go down considerably, go down. So we are all involved in advocacy to ensure that there is good governance in the countries, in our different countries, so that the main causes of the flight of refugees is addressed. I mean, good governance and good politics, I would say, because many refugees are fleeing as a result of bad politics in their own countries of origin. And therefore, with this addressed, it is likely that the drivers of refugee situations would really go down considerably. It is linked to some of the other reasons which also cause refugees to flee. Differences in political opinion. Why should you flee from your country because you have a divergent view? There should be tolerance. And I'm glad that in Ghana, for example, I mean, I think our democratic experiment is working. I mean, freedom of speech. I mean, people are able to air their views. Sometimes when you hear things that on the media, you have, shivers. But once people do not have where to vent,
their frustration.
Yes, it's like a pressure cooker. I mean, you keep putting fire under a pressure cooker without a vent. I mean, very soon it's going to explode. I mean, so tolerance. I mean, freedom of speech. I mean, essential ingredients to ensure that different opinions are tolerated, and so that people have at least an avenue to address their issues. Otherwise, unconventional methods would kick in.
My question is, I mean, you guys are actually handling the if you like, call it the outcome of all these conflicts that are being, perpetuated in all our continent here. What is the discussion between you guys, the UNHCR, of course, under the UN, organization, and the AU, for example? What do they listen? Do they read your reports? And what do they tell these presidents?
They do read our reports. We have a representation.
Why are we not solving these issues?
Yeah, we have a representation at the AU.
Right.
We have a representative at the AU. But, I think Africa is going through through very turbulent times until we settle. If you look at what happened in the 70s, for example, the incessant coup d'etats, now we don't have them anymore. Now we have semblance of democracy in many of our countries.
And refined coup d'etats.
That's right, semblance of democracy,
right,
which require a lot of improvements as well. I mean, because even though governments are no longer being overthrown through the barrel of the gun, if there is election rigging, I mean, it's another form of coup d'etat in one way or the other. To ensure that we have clean and fair elections is key. UNHCR does not work alone, and our work is apolitical.
Yes.
But yet it has political implications.
You have neutrality.
Yes, it has political implications because in order to be able to provide humanitarian assistance, you have to be neutral. We have other organs of the UN that are more specialized in addressing some of the
governance issues.
Exactly. And therefore we work with them. So we, like you rightly said, we deal with the outcome of some of these issues. I mean, bad governance and so on and so forth. But thank God that we are having others who are also specialized in this, who have the mandate to do this, and we work hand in hand with them. We engage in quiet diplomacy as well. But we should not be partial. I mean, because if you are mediating between two warring factions and at the same time providing support and assistance to those who have been victims of such clashes, then your neutrality is compromised. I mean, so we try as much as possible to stay neutral so that we can provide protection and assistance to those who are affected.